Woodrum, welcome back to the show. This is going to be a lot of fun, and we are going to talk about how to work with your wife. You up for it?
Yes, I have a lot of experience with this, Craig, so I'm ready to share.
Yeah, I mean, just to be clear, this is everybody working with their own wife, not necessarily working with your wife, but you do have, 10 years of experience of working with Brittany?
Yeah, a decade. I mean, I tell people 95% of our relationship over the last decade has been in a working relationship, if you will. So yeah, a lot of experience.
And would you say a lot of that experience was doing a lot of things the wrong way?
A lot. I would say 70% of that was doing it the wrong way. Yes. I'd
Yeah.
say the last 3 years, we've probably really been able to make a nice shift the right direction.
Cool. Well, I'm really looking forward to that and having you share your 5 biggest takeaways on how somebody can work with their partner, their romantic partner, wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is. Because what I've seen, you and I are friends with Bedros Keuilian, and Bedros and Diana work together in their business. And I've seen you and Brittany working together in your business, and Vince Del Monte and his wife working together in their business, and Michelle helping me out with my business. The power of the combined and compounded effort on a single point of focus from 2 predetermined partners makes all the difference. Alex Hormozi and Layla Hormozi is another great example of this. And when it's done right, I mean, it can just give your business and your relationship a rocket ride to success. But when done wrong, when date nights become date nights, or when it's difficult to separate work from play, that's when you get into the struggles. So let's talk about that right now, in how you and Brittany were really able to separate work life and home life, even though you're together almost all the time. What was one of the biggest things, or even if you want to, just tell us where things weren't working first?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I would say up until probably 2018, 19, we did everything the wrong way. We just didn't know any better. Again, I met Brittany in beginning of 2012. She was one of the first clients in my gym. And so we started dating right away. And then shortly thereafter, she started managing that gym that I'd owned. And then, we opened up gyms after that and had a number of different businesses together. And so we didn't really know any different. All we knew was that work relationship. And so there were a lot of times that we would be at work 8-10 hours a day. We would come home, and literally until we went to bed, all we were discussing was work stuff. And we try to say, hey, we're going to separate work from personal life, but we didn't have any non-negotiables. We didn't have any boundaries. We didn't have any buffers, right? And so we were trying to just kind of go off of willpower, and that failed us almost every single time. So what we started having to do was to place what I call 5 non-negotiables. And these are not perfect, okay? But they have made so much progress over the last 3 years, and it's completely, and I'm not being superficial about this. I really think this has saved our marriage, because there were some rough patches there where we really were, we were really going at it, and it was very difficult times, a lot of dark moments, a lot of times of us kind of crying out to each other saying, what are we going to do? Do we need to separate this? Do we need to just break off with this working relationship? We cannot make this work. And so the first non-negotiable, Craig, that I would say,
hold on. What is a non-negotiable? How do you define a non-negotiable so that someone can really understand this and implement it?
Yeah. So a non-negotiable, there's no negotiating, right? It's well, I might take a date night next month. No, the non-negotiable is you are going to take a date night on April 15th, that Thursday night, April 15th at 7 p.m. That is a non-negotiable.
It's like the 10 Commandments.
Exactly. There's no wiggle room. There's no wiggle room at all, right? It's kind of like, Craig, you talk like an alcoholic, right? If you're not drinking anymore, there's no wiggle room. I'm going to have one drink. No, either you do or you don't, type of thing. So
exactly. Okay. Yeah. So those 5 work spouse non-negotiables, walk us through those.
Yeah. So the first one we do is we have 2 date nights per month. So 2 date nights per month. And I need to go ahead and share an example. It's not just about taking a date night, because I can tell you from experience that we were taking date nights a few years ago, but we were still talking about work on those date nights. So it wasn't really a date, right? It was more of like a work meeting, if you will, right? With maybe a glass of wine, right? So it was not an actual date night. So we had to I always talk about, sometimes you have to take extreme measures to break bad habits. So we took 2 extreme measures, and this is silly, but sometimes it works, guys. You have to do kid stuff. We did one random date night. I said, all right, Brittany, we're not going to talk about work. We pulled up to a sushi restaurant. I can remember it vividly. I was like, we're not going to talk about work. And I was like, I know we always say that, we never do it, but I'm going to pinky promise with you, right? So we did a little pinky promise thing, right? And kissed each other's thumb. And like, I don't know what it was about that, but for whatever reason, that night, we did not talk about work. And so kind of being superstitious, we said, okay, every time we take a date night now, we're going to do a pinky promise. Another thing that we do as well is we have 2 young kids, right? So a lot of times we have a babysitter that's watching our kids when we go to date night. So we need a phone on us. So to say we just leave our phones at home is probably not going to be feasible in case there's an emergency. But what we found is that a lot of times on date nights, Craig, is that we would both, she would get out her phone, right, to do something, and then I would take out my phone. So we're both on the phone.
It's almost like permission.
Exactly. So now what we do is we only take one phone in there just for an emergency situation, right? But if, let's say Brittany takes her phone that night, if she's on her phone, I can't get on my phone. So I'm going to call her out. Hey, Britt, you're on your phone. Get off your phone. It's date night, right? So it's just that extra level of accountability and non-negotiable that really forces us to be present in the moment on date night.
Maybe whoever takes the phone should give it to the other person.
I like that. That's even better. I like that.
Yeah. And one thing that I liked that you have in your non-negotiable is that you do date night twice per month. And, you know, I've ran so many events where entrepreneurs come in, they get frustrated. They're not having date night every week with their spouse who they work with, and they have kids. And I think it's when you set kind of like these unattainable goals that things become negotiable. Because if you say we're going to have date night every week, well, what we do it every week? Well, we can just skip this one this week, and then, you know, we'll pick up next week, or we'll just, you know, we'll push this one a little bit later, or I'll pick up food and bring it home and we'll watch a movie or something. And it's not really a date night. And those people have negotiated their way out of it. So when we talk about non-negotiables, it's the same with the perfect week formula. If you put something on your perfect week calendar, if you say this is a non-negotiable that we have date night twice per week, it is like as close to a commandment written in stone as possible. It is not to be canceled. It is not to be pushed off, delayed. Like, you are to plan around it. And when you have it twice instead of 4 times per month, it becomes a little simpler to work with, right?
Yeah, and let me give you one more tip as well, guys, is that I would recommend going ahead and reserving if you're going for a date night to a restaurant, for example, go ahead and reserve that dinner reservation 2 weeks out. Again, it's just an extra form of accountability, right? You've already booked it. Sometimes you have to put your credit card on file and they charge you if you don't go. So little things like that can help with accountability as well.
Yeah, you should almost be forced to only pick restaurants that charge you if you don't show up. All
5
right,
star.
that's good. That is good. That is good. All right, so then the second one you have is a 15-minute catch-up session. What the heck is that about?
Yes, not catch up, right? Not like
right.
It's
It's not like 15 minutes of the kids pouring ketchup on you.
Yes, although it does happen sometimes in this household.
Yes.
No, so what we do is that, again, same kind of going back to my original stories, a lot of times we would just start talking about work when the kids are around. I have almost a 4-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son now. And again, we would find early on that we were talking about work around the kids. We were not present with them, right? It was taking away that precious time with our kids. So what we decided to do is we basically have family night from 5 to 7 p.m. every single night. All right. Then we usually put our kids down. Sometimes it might be 7:30, but right at 7 o'clock, we go upstairs, put them down for bed. When we come downstairs, we do a 15-minute catch up. So what that is just, hey, how was your day? How was your day? What are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow? Making sure that our schedules are aligned. You know, who's dropping police off our daughter at school today or tomorrow, and just making sure that we're all on the same page. That way, once that 15 minutes is up, we are done. And then we go, which I won't talk about next, but we go to another thing called couch time here, which is kind of like our personal time together without the kids. So we can have some one-on-one time without having to discuss work. Now, we had to take 2 extreme measures with this as well. One is we had to set a timer. So we actually set a timer for 15 minutes. Sometimes we're done in 5 minutes. That's great, right? But there have been times where we found ourselves talking for 20 or 30 minutes, and it actually bled into our couch time. So now it's a 15-minute time interval. Then also is we actually do it at our dining room table. We used to do it on the couch. But again, that we want our couch as a personal time together. So kind of like you say, Craig, you shouldn't be working in your bed, right? That's for other things. Same thing with that. So we do it at the kitchen or at the dining room counter. And then we have 15 minutes. And then after that, we're planned, we're ready for the next day, and we can enjoy personal time together.
So let's take a step back here. I want you to walk me through what a Wheel of Fortune session looks like with a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. You say that you watch this every single night. I can't imagine I've watched Wheel of Fortune maybe when I was 10 years old, but I can't believe, first of all, it's still on. But second of all, a 2- and 4-year-old, they just love it, huh?
Yeah, so our son Banks, he actually claps from the spin wheels. He claps, yay, yay! So that's always
Okay.
fun. We actually challenged our daughter, what letter is that? Because she's still learning her letters. So it's actually like kind of like an educational thing.
Sure.
And then one thing that Britt and I are crazy competitive about anything. So what we do is that we actually keep track of who wins the puzzles, and then whoever loses that night session has to take our dog Shuggy out for the evening walk.
Oh,
It's 8 o'clock
wow.
at night, right? So you're like, it might be cold outside, you're ready to go to bed. So again, it's just a little fun family thing that we do.
Fantastic. All right. So we go from Wheel of Fortune. Is it still Pat and Vanna?
It is, yes, it is.
That's wild. Okay,
Right?
so we jump from Pat and Vanna. They blend up, go off into TV land, and now you have Couch Time. What is Couch Time?
Yeah, so we actually learned this at a parenting class before my daughter was born through our church back in, I guess, 2018. So couch time is essentially time together with your significant other, your spouse. Ideally, again, this was parenting class. Once your kids are to bed, right, you have couch time without any phones, without any distraction, where you can just have time together. Whether you're watching Netflix, you're watching a movie, you're just spending time with each other, talking, whatever it may be. But Britt and I, after we put the kids down, we have our catch up session. Then we sit on the couch. Craig, you actually turned us on to one of that real estate show. We don't watch the one that you and Michelle are watching, but we watch a different one.
What do you watch?
Uh,
Selling Sunset?
it's the one out of Sydney.
Oh, I don't know
It's
it.
actually on Amazon Prime, not Netflix.
Oh,
We have
okay.
Amazon Prime as well. So, but we started watching that, and so we watch an episode a night, and that usually go until 8:30, 8:45, and then I go to bed at 9 o'clock. My wife stays up a little bit longer.
Okay.
She's a little bit more of a night owl. But yeah, couch time is just having intentional time together, no phones, no work conversation, whether you're watching TV or just having a fun chat together.
Okay. And then speaking of working from home, you have a designated area. Talk about the power of having that and why people shouldn't just sit and work at the kitchen table, or definitely not on the couch and definitely not in bed.
Yeah, so I call it the home work zone. And I mean, Craig, you've really kind of taught me this is that I didn't work from home nearly as much until obviously COVID hit, right? And so a lot of times I'd be working on the kitchen counter, even during the evening time, even near the daytime. You got two kids, a 4 and a 2 year old, they're running around, right? My wife's running around, she's trying to talk to me. There's just a lot going on. So one is it was very distracting, right? So it took me a lot longer to get work done and it wasn't as quality of work. And two is I didn't have that space where I could be in the work zone. And then when I was outside of my office upstairs, I could be in family mode, right? There was like the family zone, if you will. And so now we turned one of our spare bedrooms into an office. And so anytime my wife or I do work, we go up in that room, we shut the door. It's not perfect, but our kids know if mommy or daddy are in there, you should not be knocking on the door, right? Trying to open the door. And so we've just been able to really separate the work zone from the family zone. It's made a massive difference the last year and a half since we implemented that.
Yeah, and that kind of reminds me of that story that I've heard about Jack Canfield. That Jack Canfield, when he works at home, he has a hat on his head, and if everybody is in his house goes, if Jack's wearing that specific hat, that means Jack's in work mode, and you're not supposed to be bugging him. So that's what you do. So that work zone, throw on a hat and tell the kids, like, if daddy's wearing the hat and he's in the work zone, definitely can't be bothering him.
Yeah. And
Are you
bonus
there
tip
right
there.
now?
What's that?
Are you there right now?
No, I'm actually downstairs right now. The kids and the wife are at a house right now, so I'm downstairs because it's a lot better scenery here. The
Yeah,
office upstairs is not very pretty sight, so for
got it.
podcasts, I try to have it down here.
All
But one
right.
thing we also do is we keep the laptop upstairs as well normally, so that way, again, if your laptop's downstairs, right, and you're tempted to be on your computer, so if you kind of keep it upstairs, if you have to, let me send 2 quick emails, you have to go upstairs in the office, which just kind of reinforces good
Yeah.
habits, if you will. So
Got it. Yeah, that's really good. All right. So fifth and final one. What's our last point for working with our partner and spouse
yeah,
and family?
Yeah, so to us and this is for our family, weekends are for family. So a lot of times we would still be doing a lot of work on the weekends, and I've just been way more intentional about getting all my work done during the weekdays, so we can have Saturday and Sunday for family time. Especially now that the kids are, we have kids, we want to spend as much time with them as possible. There is one caveat: I do still get up early Saturday morning and do my planning for the next week and send Craig's weekly accountability email to all of our coaching clients. So I still will get about 90 minutes of work done Saturday morning, but it's way before the kids and the wife get up. So it's still, once they're up, it's still family time the rest of Saturday and Sunday.
Absolutely awesome, man. Well, listen, I really appreciate this. I'm going to implement and, incorporate these into my life as I step into, daddyhood and, getting your experience and your coaching on this. Is there anything else that, struggles or objections that you tend to hear from people and how you help them overcome that?
I think it just, when it comes to your spouse, it just comes down to communication. Like, I know it's simple, right? But when it comes down to leadership, anything in life really can be solved with better communication and
Yeah.
better planning or preparation. So just have more communication. Like, if you feel like you and your spouse are not talking enough about these issues, just bring it up. Hey, you know what? I just saw a really amazing podcast or video that I mean, true, right? Craig and Daniel,
Yeah.
right? I just want to be able to bring it up to you and see if we can work on things. And like Craig said, just pick one small change to make right now. Work on that habit. Compliance breeds confidence. Get your spouse on board, and then you guys can start trying to implement some more non-negotiables from there.
Absolutely amazing, Daniel. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Daniel's our head coach in our program at Early to Rise. So if you want to get coaching from us, if you want to join our Effortless Discipline Bootcamp program, which makes implementing all of these easy as possible, then just go over to craigvalentine.com/apply. And we look forward to working with you soon. And if you're new to us, make sure you get all of my books for free, absolutely no cost at craigvalentine.com/free books. All right, Daniel, thank you so much. We'll see you again soon, my man.
All right. Thanks, Craig. Appreciate it.
All right. See you, everybody. Bye.